So what are some things that you should look for when purchasing your next used firearm? So there's basically two main approaches that you could take here. You could come in as a scientist with all these tools, your bore scope, go and no-go tools, and you could get an idea of the quality of the firearm. But for most people, they're not going to do that. I'm probably not going to do that. For most people, they're just going to pick up the gun off the rack. Major things I'm going to look at is, number one, do all of the parts match as far as brand goes? So if I'm buying a Glock, I want the parts to be Glock parts. If I'm buying a SIG, I want the SIG parts to be SIG parts. Not that there's any problem with any aftermarket parts, but I can't really look at a part and quickly identify what brand that is and be able to decide whether it's a reputable brand or not. And I don't know the guy who actually threw the firearm together to know whether he did a high quality job or not. The other thing I'm gonna look at is the overall round count. So you can get a rough idea on round count just by kind of looking at the barrel. And really you could tell on this Glock 25, this is a dang near brand new gun. This thing has not been cycled much at all, just because there's not much wear on that finish of that barrel. If you look at a firearm, specifically a handgun that has, say, several hundred or several thousand rounds through it, then you will see a significant amount of barrel wear that really sets in very early on. So for the case of this Glock 25, it's pretty much a brand new gun. Now when it comes to AR-15s, I still want to look at the brand. I know everybody thinks that they know how to throw together an AR-15, but I still want to stick to a OEM manufacturer. I don't trust some random dude building an AR out of his garage. I don't want to have to inspect every single component that he threw on the sucker. So I'm going to stick to name brand ARs, and I'm just going to look for just overall feel of the firearm. Does it feel good? Does it run good? And then I'm actually going to quickly just separate the upper and lower, and you can get a rough idea on round count from an AR just by inspecting basically that interface there from the bolt carrier group there and where the hammer rides. So basically as that bolt carrier group cycles back and forth, that hammer is going to ride on the bottom of that BCG, and it's just going to induce a little bit of wear there on that finish, and you could get a rough idea from round count on that. Obviously that's not right 100% of the time because maybe that BCG and that hammer was replaced, but that'll just give you a rough idea of the firearm. Just cycle the action, see how smooth it is. If things are crunchy, if things are sloppy, then you know that it's a high round count gun and you might stay clear.